For as long as I can remember, Call of Duty has been a mainstay franchise that has captivated the FPS world a multitude of times. Yes, there have been games that have taken the proverbial mantle, and yes, I too have drifted from being a die-hard fan back in the day. But with that said, there's no denying that these games have a very special place in every gamer's repertoire. Call of Duty Modern Warfare is no different. What's on display here is over a decade of knowledge of what works and doesn't in these games, and it's a very solid entry. There was a time that graphics were Call of Duty's Achilles heel. Let's be honest, we played these games because the gameplay was addicting, but long gone are those days indeed. I must say the graphics really impressed me. The character models most times are photorealistic, and their mannerisms and humanity are just as compelling as any game on the market. It adds to the tight immersion of the campaign, and the extra mile definitely pays off. And speaking of the campaign, it is as unapologetic as the day is long. I won't spoil the details, but the basic gist is that the United States and Russia are at it again. When a mission to recover a shipment of dangerous chemicals goes awry, it leads to them falling into the hands of terrorists, leading to a chain of events that involve varied missions of military combat and espionage. The story takes you on a journey to varied and detailed locations, where at times you take on terrorism in its ugliest forms. Infinity Ward truly pushes the envelope on what they're willing to show you and have you partake in. From brutal enemies to straight up taking down terrorists in urban cityscapes, this game will pit you in crazy situations with civilians being unmercifully cut down, truly grabbing at your emotions and making you feel like you are deeply entrenched in the ugliest sides of humanity. This game is also very unforgiving, even on its easiest of 5 broad difficulties. The game punishes you severely if you do not utilize cover appropriately, nor clear areas effectively. I myself found that not taking my time and planning each move led to me getting decimated effortlessly by the enemies, having to restart checkpoints multiple times. But enough about the campaign. Let's dive into the multiplayer because that's what Infinity Ward hopes you will stay for. The multiplayer, in my opinion, is a culmination of what's come before it. All the usual modes are here, and the hunt for the best gun with the most optimal attachments is just as addicting as it's ever been. Also, spawn killing is still a thing, and it will lead you to slamming your controller down quite a few times. Lightning fast reflexes as well as strategic patience is the name of the game, as you will have to jump, crouch, and find the best vantage points to secure your kill streaks. This game also looks crisp as ever in multiplayer. As someone who played quite a lot of Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2, you truly can appreciate just how far the graphics and multiplayer have come. I for one am not as great as I once thought I was, but I still had fun with my buddies, and I'm sure you will as well. So, overall Modern Warfare, is it worth the purchase? Well, with a franchise of this magnitude, it really depends on what you expect of this game. I will say that aside from the graphical jumps, I can't say that there's much new here, but that's also not a bad thing. I personally prefer boots on the ground Call of Duty, and I personally think that sometimes too much innovation can hurt a game, and we've seen it before with this franchise. But with that said, if you weren't a fan of Call of Duty before, I don't think that this game will convert anyone. I will say that what you do get is extremely polished and technically sound. With that in mind, in my opinion, I give Modern Warfare a 4 out of 5. While it doesn't do much in the way of innovation, it does deliver a polished game with a lot of modes and a very enjoyable campaign. If you're an FPS fan, I think you will find a lot to enjoy here. With that said, with a storied franchise that's been around so long, what was your first Call of Duty? Mine was Call of Duty 3. Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this review, help my channel grow by leaving a like and subscribe. If you'd like to be notified of any upcoming videos, be sure to ring those bells. This is Best Life Gaming. Thank you so much, and I hope all of you out there are living your best life.